And I will turn off the videos and let you to share when you're ready.
Okay, you seeing it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, actually did a save as to create this file. This is from a previous survey that I had done that you actually helped me on.
All right.
And we're doing a concept plan basically of just this area that's circled here.
Okay.
Um, and I created well, this was just the drawing. I need to create a cover page, and I've been exploring it a couple of different ways, and I've erased and deleted everything I've done. There are some things from this page that I want to keep on my cover page, the location inset, and I'll get rid of the location inset on the drawing, and need to get this at a much well, smaller or bigger scale, which I always get confused about which is which, but this needs to be
Yes.
bigger.
So do I.
So, am I better off creating a title block using this or doing a copy of this and changing it?
It depends. I mean, the reason you'd want a copy is if you've got, certain things on here that you do want to keep, like you said, your location map and,
Well,
you
the
know,
legend, the notes, and the
yeah,
location inset.
yeah. So I would probably just do a copy and make it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I need to get rid of a lot of this stuff.
Yeah. So now that,
Do that by doing freeze as. Uh,
well, I mean, when you do freeze, it's going to freeze the entire layer. So tell me first of all what it is that you want to, where it is you want to do the concept plan, which part of it is it?
um, just on this circle, basically.
Just that little building there, that
Yeah,
or that one
the
little thing.
little building in the surrounding area. I need to show an access that comes in and
Yeah.
goes around the building and comes out this way. And then I need to get about 150 parking spaces in there.
Okay, so you're probably going to want to at least keep, to keep at least some of the boundary around the site uh as well.
Yeah,
And
but I don't necessarily have to do that on the same page.
no, and you don't need well, when you do the layout plan, it's nice if you can see an edge of it just for reference.
Okay,
But
all of this stuff I don't need.
that's,
This is the
yeah,
only boundary the only parcel I'm actually concerned with for
right,
this
right. So
project.
that's what I'm getting at. So let's go to the model space. And since you've saved this and copied this to a different place, we can we can cut this way down by getting rid of and just I'm when I mean get rid of, I mean erase those other things. So let's freeze the image for right now just to get it out of our way. And that's well, just yeah, it's on a layer called geo image. Just freeze that layer. What is that yellow on? It's on a layer called image. You might as well see when you got it selected, go up there where it says layer in the properties and change that to geo image and it will freeze. It'll assign it to that layer, which is frozen. There you go. Okay, now press escape and those marks will go away. Okay, now let's get rid of all of that other stuff out there that you don't need, the adjoiner lines, and you do a crossing, Mike. Just click and do a window up and to the left. There you go. Now don't cross yours. There, yeah, like that. And looks like, did we get part of yours?
Yeah, it looks like it.
All
Maybe I
right.
should put it on a different
Well,
layer.
well, here's what to do. Hold the shift key now and go up there and cross the ones that you want to keep.
Ah,
Well, yeah, see, because when you shift select, you deselect. You have to actually do a, well, now that means it has to be entirely within. If you go to the left with your window, it will be a crossing. Yeah, like that. Okay. And go down and get, there's another little piece there in that middle. Is that, you see the little segmented part?
yeah, it's not,
Okay. You're not getting the window to activate. It's um
yeah, what am I doing wrong?
press well press escape on that. Now hold the shift key, click in the
Okay,
blank spot and drag toward the left to where you cross that stuff that's lit up. There you go. That should do it. And you got one more little piece up there that might be part of it. And then there's another piece down on the bottom. So do the same thing. There you go, like that. And then that bottom segment. All right, looks like that would do it. And so now just press the delete key, and then we'll clean up some of these other things that are left over. Now, some of them might be whole and we have to leave them, but um, here, let me go. I'm going to go ahead and request control just so I can help you clean it up a little bit. All right, so now these things like, see when you select this, that goes all the way up. So we don't want it to, um, and we may not even need it, but we don't necessarily need to delete the whole thing. We only need to peel it back to this line back in here. So we're going to do, no,
well,
fence.
actually, that's just a fence line, we don't need it.
Okay. And do we need that creek? I don't think we need the creek, do we?
Yeah, it's on the subject property, I think, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I see down here. Yeah, okay. All right, so and let's see, that bearing and distance up there is okay. This one we don't need. Let's see now. Don't need this. Need those. All of that looks good to save. Don't need any of these. Let's see, don't need that. Don't need, see, we did not need the fence, right?
Right,
We don't need those. And I think as long as this line doesn't form part, yeah, that one's good. We can get rid of that. And now this line though goes all the way up. So we're going to want to break it right here. So if we go to edit and break by crossing polyline, it says select the clip edge polyline. So that would be this one. And now select the ones to be clipped, and we're going to select that one. And so now what it did was just broke it at that spot. So I can now select this part of it. Oops, it didn't. Maybe the maybe this line doesn't go up and actually hit it. All right, so let's delete a segment of it, and I'm going to delete that segment and that segment. We can actually get rid of that point. And that line, make sure, whoops, we've got that line in there. Now, because I want to keep that line, I'm going to hold the shift key down and do a left crossing there. So now that's unselected that. I don't see any grips out here and just got that.
Why do we want to keep that line?
Uh, we don't necessarily need to, but I wanted, before I erase it, I wanted to, that's a plat line. Do we need that for anything?
No.
All right, so we can get rid of that after all. All right, so now what do we got? We've got this can go away. So all we're doing at this stage is just cleaning some stuff up, and we'll keep this other stuff on, and it will be, and we can even keep this down here because we're not going to be, it's going to be out of our view, so that'll be okay.
Right.
But I just wanted to get some working room, some breathing room to what we're doing here now. All right, so here's where we're going to do the concept plan, and we're going to have some roadway stuff coming in from somewhere else. Do we need this circle around the well?
Probably not for this project, no.
All right, so if we can
And,
just,
and some of those buildings are gone, like the house there's gone.
this one,
Yeah.
and
And that other structure's gone.
that one there.
Yeah.
All right, now what is that from?
Uh, don't know. Doesn't look like it's something we need though.
Sort of orphaned out there, so we can get rid of that.
So I
All right,
guess we're gonna have to do 2 pages here. We're gonna have to have a page for the concept, which is just gonna be that circle. Then we're gonna have to have a page with the whole parcel so we can show how you get into it.
yeah. So, and that's enough property information that we need to show for that parcel, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so that's it. We can also get rid of this up here. All right, so that'll be what we do. Now, I did notice that your let's see, what do we have? What's this? When you had your when the image was on, that it snuck over into this
Yeah.
vicinity map because it was so close. So
Right.
we're going to turn that back on and trim it down if we just to get it out of our way. So we'll go back to our geo image.
It's over on the other page. I'll do it.
Okay, so now let's let me see. I'm going to just draw. I'm going to sit on that layer. So I'm going to say make object layer current, which is this little icon right there. And I'll sit on that. So now I'm on that layer, and I'm going to draw a polyline with the current drawing properties. And I'm just going to go zinc, zinc. And close it like that, okay? And
Yeah,
now, let's see. I'm going to say for this image, when I select the image, I want to clip it. Let's see if it gives me anything for context tools. Yeah, clip. So I selected the image, I right-clicked the mouse, I went down here to tools,
yeah.
and down at the bottom it says clip XREF, okay? And so now it says select entities, so I guess I gotta select it again anyway. Uh, well, it didn't seem to work. Try it one more time. Clip, image, right, tools, clip XREF. Maybe you have to, maybe they want the boundary. No, guess not. All right, so we'll just take the image, select it, see over here. Let's see, what do we do with it?
Could you pull the corners in and do it the same way?
Yeah, I mean, that keeps it that keeps it square.
Right,
But I don't want to rescale it. I just want to clip it.
right.
So with the selected, you can type image clip. I don't know where the tool is on the toolbars. It might be somewhere. So I'm going to say new boundary. Delete the old boundary. Yeah. It's gonna, guess it's gonna delete it first. Okay, that's fine.
By
And
the
now,
way, you are recording, aren't you?
yes, I am. And so now to clip it, I'm going to type S to select the polyline. And I'm going to select that polyline right there. Okay, there we go. And now I no longer need that polyline. All right, so now we're clipped to our site. We're good to go. And then when we do our concept plan, even with the image on, we don't see the spillover.
Right.
Okay, so now we need to figure out about what size of concept plan do we want to show? Because where is your road that we're coming off of? Is it this?
No, that's the floodplain.
Okay,
The road is that red thing there.
okay.
And it used to come up. The building, the barn has been enlarged, so the road really doesn't go through the barn like that. That
Mhm.
was an existing road. And this is a structure that they've just built. This is a septic pipe
Okay,
so the road needs to be away from that.
all right. So now, all right, so let's see, what is that right there?
That's the septic structure.
Now this line that I just selected,
Yes,
that's the septic structure.
yes.
Okay.
I don't know what it is. It's a bunch of pipes. Some of them are sticking straight up
Uh,
and they're connected together. I assume that part of it will be buried, but I don't know which part.
Okay, all right, so that's fine. So we need to show, like, we'll probably hook onto the road down in this area right in here, and then maybe, come off to there. So we need to figure out maybe about what size we need to make what scale we need to make our concept plan. So, let's see, we've got north is straight up at the moment.
Well, it's going to be on 18 by 24. So if we just figured out what this distance is like that, would that give us an idea for the scale?
Yeah, or we could do this. It might be easier. Let's go back to the concept plan. That's what we're going to work on first here. Um, Now all of these things down here are in our paper space, so we don't need them. Um, so let me see what layer is that. It's on a joiner. Let me isolate that layer here. And will we need any of that stuff on the concept plan?
Maybe. Why don't we just turn it off for the time being, and then I can,
All right, so let's restore. And now this one up here, that line is also on the joiner, so that's fine too. Um, I'm thinking the concept plan, because we're gonna be blown up like this, like, will we need to, like, we might want to have this guy, if we get the edge, so. But for now, let's freeze it, and we'll keep in mind that we've got it frozen. Well, it says freezing layer joiner, and then it locked. So what's going on?
hmm. What do I need to do?
Press escape several times, see if you can break it loose. And if not that, let me see if I can.
There. Oh,
Okay, that's all right. I didn't kill it. I just, there we go. It finally, it already froze a joiner, and now this one is on a joined text. So we'll freeze that one as well. Just, what's this one on now? This is on boundary. Don't,
those are corners. They can be erased. We won't need those for this drawing.
all right, so we're going to present this. So we're going to maybe change the shape of this to be, about where we think we want our concept plan to go. And maybe we want it as much as this. Let me add a vertex. Here it is. There we go. We'll sort of reshape some of this. Like, we probably don't need to crowd that quite so much necessarily. All I'm doing right now is just sort of laying out, a little window that we're going to view within. We'll go like this and bring this guy up. We may not need anywhere near this size, but we'll see how it works for us. All right, so that's going to be, maybe pull this further down. So we need to see, what scale do we need to be at to be able to show that at 20 scale. Now, all of these things look like they're in paper space. So we probably need to see if we can convert them to model space. icons or model space things. See, this is when you label things like this in your drawing, if you label them in paper space, and then if that model viewport shifts or moves or you rescale it, none of those point to the right things anymore. So when you, and that's what I call the difference between annotating and labeling. So when you annotate something and you want it to stay in relation to where those geometry items are, then you need to do that in the model space and let it show through. So if I change space, these are now in paper space. So I'm going to change all of these to go to model space now. So it says select the entity to copy or move. I'm going to move them. So that's my default. So I'm going to see if I can't get them all. So I found 15. Did it get this one? Yeah, I got that one there too. So now when I do that, and it says set the target viewport active and press enter. So if I just double click inside, where's my viewport? I pressed enter. So it scaled those by 300 to maintain visual space. And if we go over here into model space now, you're going to see ooh, all kinds of crap, apparently. So let's change. This is text that is, it's a dimension rather. Let's see now over here, model space. I'm going to change. I see down here that you're at 100 scale in your model space. So I'm going to change this temporarily to 300 scale to see how that affects it. And so now this is what we need to change. It is annotative, yes, annotative scale is 300. Delete that one. Same thing here, yes. It's annotative. And it's at 1 inch equals 300 feet. That's right. Don't really need that one. All right, so now we need to change the text size and arrow size. So the text down here, width and height, we got a 27 inch tall text, which we don't need. So if I say 0.1, or let's say 0.08, now let's say 0.1, we're gonna label it there, 0.1. And I'll change this to also be 0.1. All right, now we may have to reposition it. So that's pointing to what? Let me see if I can, let's just match this one. That is text is, it must be not annotated. Yeah, see, it's not annotated. That's why that one didn't change. All right, so if we set the other one back to not annotated, and then 24 for the height. That's text height 24. Let's see, point.
Would it have been faster to have just deleted them and redone them on the new drawing?
Yeah, I think so, probably. Mike, let me get rid of that. I'm trying to find where that text wound up going. Oh, there it is. So that is now, now we just need to reposition it. And what was that pointing to? That's boundary per deed book.
Yeah, which we really don't need for this drawing.
All right, well, let's just can it. And then this one is under your floodplain limits. Now let's make it non-annotative. So we're going to bring it up here, and then it points to that. This is the horizontal landing. So I need to bring this out here. I need to get rid of that one. So if I bring this, oops. All right, so that's in the gap. Let's see the horizontal, yes, landing distance, 0.083. Landing gap right here. And the landing distance, let's say 0.125. All right, so now that that's all tied back together, when I move this, it's going to move the arrow with it. I need to get rid of that. How can I do that? I don't think, yeah, it doesn't. So we may need to move. Well, we'll, let's see. We do that. This needs to come back all the way down to our target. So now when we move this thing, it should bring that whole thing and move it as a unit here. Let's put it down here, and then we're going to make these arrowheads. All right, so same thing here. We'll make that 0.18. Let's make them.
Yeah, I don't know what that arrow is pointing to. The 25-foot setback limit
Yeah,
doesn't come.
it may be that. Uh, and so that's a leader. All right, so now the arrow size, we're gonna make 0.12 for everything. That's a multi-leader, so let's do the same thing with that. M leader. And we'll make those arrow sizes 0.12, landing distance of 1.25, and then the landing gap 0.3.
That can just go. We don't need that anymore.
Okay. All right, so we may find some of these that we don't need anymore. There's that one there. There's this 25-year. Okay, so it was done not the same way. Now that pointed to,
I don't know what it pointed to, but it's not pointing to the right place now.
all right, so if we need it, let's just move it up here out of the way for a minute. And then now this one, that was, is that this creek down here?
Yeah.
All right, so we'll pull that down. That. And the floodplain is,
That dotted line.
and that's the limits of it. This is in the floodplain here. So this is, we'll sort of pull it back a little bit more toward the middle. All right. And oh, this 25, I think this went here.
Yeah, it did.
All right, let's pull it up like this, and then let's take this and we'll move that up to here. And then we point the tip. And that goes to that line there.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's maybe take both of them, move them from the tip here to down here.
And actually that approximately your floodplain arrow should be pointing to the limit of the floodplain, which is the dotted line.
Oh, okay. Go to nearest. If I can find it. There we go. All right, so it'll be all right. And this iron pipe.
I can go away.
Okay, now, so we got things sort of where we want. This is going to be the area we're going to focus on. So let's go back now to our concept plan. And I've got to turn this into a viewport. What happened to our viewport? Let's see. Pull the layers over so I can see them.
Okay.
Okay, so viewports. All right, so it's supposed to be on. That really should have. That was keyed, that other viewport was keyed to that polyline, and all we do was edit the polyline. But it's no longer, I'm no longer picking that up. See, it's just the polyline. So what I'm going to do, get rid of that extra I don't need, is I need to make this into a new viewport because right now it's not. And apparently that's where it starts and stops. All right, so that's going to be my viewport. So I'm going to say viewport, and I'm going to say poly, E for entity, and it's the one I'm going to want. All right, so now we got a viewport. Let's make sure this is all. The right layer here. There we go. All right, so now inside the viewport, I'm going to sort of center up where I want to look, and I'm going to get it to about the size I think I might need. Like, do I maybe need it that big? Or maybe, something
I
like,
think you probably need it bigger than that. And then we'll show the road on a separate drawing. Yeah, like something like that, maybe.
okay. And remember, we can rotate it if we need, but we may not need to. All right, so when we got it set like that, I'm going to double click out of it and I'm going to select the viewport again. And I'm going to look at its properties and I'm going to see what its scale is set to right now. And it's at 0.0369. Now, this is where you and I do the same thing. We have to reach for the calculator and see what that means. So if we try to find a standard scale, what is that the closest to? Like 0.05 would be what? Is that 20 scale? So 1 inch. I don't see one built here yet. There's a 40. Let's see.
0.05 would be 20 scale, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So 1 inch equals 40 is like that. So if we make that like 1 inch equals 20, that's a good scale, good nominal scale. But what I need to do, because 1 inch equals 20 is not in your list here. So
Right.
I'm going to add that to our list so we can find it out. Now, when you get a situation like that and you don't have it in your list, you need to put it in your list, and you can't put it in your list from paper space for whatever reason. I don't know why, but you go back to model space and you come down here on the bottom where you've got this annotation scale list
Yeah.
and double click it. And then if you choose that annotation scale list up there at the top, let me show you that again. If you double click this to bring it up, right up here is you choose that title right there.
Okay.
You can add things to here. So now there's 1 inch equals 40, which we had in place on the concept plan. But now I'm going to add, I don't see a 1 inch equals 20. So I'm going to add a new one. And we'll call it 1 inch equals 20 feet. And it's going to be one paper unit, and the drawing units is going to be 20. And I will move that up to the top. I've got 20, 40, there's 100. And I've got these others. I'm going to take this one and move it up to just to keep it up there in their list nearby. And I'll say, okay, all right. So now we've got that done. We can come back here to the concept plan. We can select our viewport. And instead of 1 inch equals 40, we're going to choose 1 inch equals 20. If I can, what happened to it?
Down at the bottom.
Yeah, I don't know why it doesn't sort it. Okay, so there's 1 inch equals 20. Or annotation, we're also going to make the 1 inch equals 20. All right, so that's why these lines showed up again now, because we're matched to our annotation scale. So now I'm going to, I double clicked inside it, and I'm going to position it around, like get it, and I'm panning, I'm holding the wheel in and pressing,
Right.
and just sort of centering it around. And I'm going to double click back out. And if I want to, now, because that polyline is linked to that viewport, I should be able to do this. Like if I make this bigger, yeah, see how it opens that up?
Yeah.
And I'll bring this up a little. Uh, yeah, just in case we need to get it, may not, and see, we may be able to pull this, back in a little bit. Like so, don't know. Uh, how much do we need to show out here?
Well,
Like,
that's all area that we want to use for parking.
all right, so,
That's the circle that I had identified that would be part of our project area. So maybe 20 scale's too big. Maybe it needs to be 30.
well, if we did it like that, does that get us, or do you think we need
You
to get,
still have a lot in the top right quadrant that we're missing.
okay, so if we do that, now here's the other thing is we can rotate this to line it up this way across the page, which might be worth doing. And that way, north is not pointing straight up. It would be pointing like that. But that might orient things on the sheet the way we want to see them. In fact, let's do that for a minute. I'm gonna actually take this away. And let's go back and recreate that. We know the scale we need now. So viewports. And now I'm going to just do viewport, and what's a corner. So if I go from, say, here to, still need to go, I need to walk around that step. So I'm going to do a polyline again. If I go, oops, crap, sorry, I looked at 3D. There we go. All right, so I'm going to just kind of come up here. So I don't get close. And I'm holding the shift key down as I go around this stuff, just to keep it square.
Okay.
I'm not sure it's working. I may just be doing it visually. And then if I come down like so, and then come across, no, it's holding. And I'm going to take that all the way over here to, and then I'm going to take this guy and move him to there. And I'm going to close it. So it needs to be closed. All right, so that's going to be the shape of my new viewport. I'm going to say viewport. And I'm going to say E for entity right there. And I'll choose that entity. And there it is. Now I'm going to sort of bring it centered. Then I'll set the scale to 1 to 20. My viewport scale to match. And where did it go? There, gosh. Now, okay. Now that I'm keeping it at 20 and whoops, that's down below. Okay. Putting my building right there in the area. And I want to rotate that so that we line up sort of left, right on the page to be there. So just like I'm in model space, I want to change my orientation of this. I'm not rotating the entities. I'm just changing the space, the view. So I'm going to go to my view menu and I'm going to choose twist screen. I'm going to say by a line or a polyline or a text. And I'm going to match that line right there. And it says twist azimuth for this. What is the twist azimuth that you want for the selected polyline? And 90 is due east. So I'll try that as due east. Now that might be upside down. It was. Let's undo that and try it again. Twist screen by line. And this time instead of 90, let's try 270. There we go. So now that's going to be the orientation I want. And if I scroll it like this, how much space up here do you want to get, like all of that?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's basically the area that we have to work in to get our parking spaces.
Okay, so now we need some down here. Maybe try another rotation option. Let's try that one and see if that, oops. So that'll sort of put the road. See, we still don't quite have enough because of that, but maybe that'll bring the road out. But that's getting a little too much out of whack, I think. I like I like this layout, but I think 20 is going to be a little too big, don't you?
Yeah,
All
I
right,
think
so
30 would work
yeah,
better.
so we'll click out of it. We'll change this to 30 instead of 20. Don't have a 30. Okay.
I'm pretty sure we did have a 30. I guess
No,
not.
we had a 300. There's 20 and a 40. So I'm going to come up here to annotation scale list and add 1 inch equals 30 feet. And that's going to be 1 to 30. Okay, now back to this. Back to the viewport. There's my 30. Well, it'd be nice if they followed the sort order. All right, so now that's going to give me that. And you see my boundary. I don't really have enough to show. I don't need to show it in this
I can
concept.
show it on a different page.
Exactly. That little creek there, maybe we'll get part of that in there and that gives us some good context. Okay. Oops, crap. My finger slipped. I got to reset the scale here. There we go. Well, that's good because that'll give us a little bit of. All right, so we're good to go at 30 scale. We're going to select our viewport and lock it.
Now, how come the viewport, when you click on it, it's not indicating that you've clicked on it?
Because when I click, I get this. So if I get the polyline, see the viewport was made from a polyline. It wasn't
Okay,
like this viewport up here for the inset map. That was just done rectangularly.
yeah,
Nope, it was also done with a polyline. So there's the polyline, but there's the viewport. So if you just create a viewport by itself and select it, you'll get that and you can just drag the corners around. But the only way to be able to reshape it is to do it with a polyline.
okay.
Other than you can resize if it's a rectangle, but we want to reshape it. All right, so now we've got this set to our intended scale. And now we need to go about laying this out and labeling it. So I would say now that we've done that, let's go back to our model. Or when we go to do that, we'll go to our model size. And I would suggest when you're doing the stuff for this and you start to lay it out, that you switch that scale at that point to 30. And when you do that and you tab out of it, make sure over here on your LT scale, you change that back to 1.
Okay.
Okay. So if we set that to 30, now it's 30. Now, here's why I like to use annotative text. Because if you look at these bearings, that bearing is not annotative and it has a height of 24 feet on the ground. So if I were to see that in my view at 30 scale, that'd be almost an inch tall on my paper.
Okay.
Whereas if it were annotative and I said make it 0.1 inches tall, it knows to, when I change this scale over here to 30, it changes that to be 3 feet tall. When I'm at 300, it makes it 0.3 feet tall on the ground. So it automatically follows. Now you may have to reposition when you change those, but once you do, it remembers those positions. So that's why I like about that. Now I'm not going to suggest you go through and change everything right now. Just keep in mind you might need to resize some of this text if you use it over again.
Okay.
But and at this point, now that you've changed this to say 1 inch equals 30, and you see I'm that down here on my annotative scale. Now, when you go to type a piece of text or annotate something and it asks for the text size, when you say 0.1, it knows you mean 0.1 inches and it takes care of multiplying all that out. And even if you're not using annotative text, it will set it for the correct size as to whatever your scaling is set to right now at the time you do it. Okay. But in terms of using that all the time, I'm going to show you just where you turn that on. If you go to your settings, Carlson configure, in your general settings, down here below, it says that you want to use these annotative scales. You've done that. That's all good. And then if you go to your points, for instance, and your point defaults, yeah, right there. So use annotative points. So
Yeah.
if that's on when you've created a point, then it will resize those symbols and the labels when you change that scale.
Okay.
It looks like these were done maybe with that not on because that text label is, it's way too large to be at this scale. But if you do, and you're using annotative, all of those labels, everything just resizes itself to be the size of this right here, the symbol and the text at this scale. Okay, and it will automatically follow if you're using annotative when you do that. It's in your defaults, okay. If you do a draw locate points, I think you may have to also turn it on here, maybe not. Numbers. Your descriptions are not on, but that's okay. Okay, yeah, so it's in the default. So any new points that you create with that set like that should follow that. Now, we've done in here, you see how we've rotated this and we've got it lined up, oriented in this direction.
Yeah.
You can do the same thing over here because you don't want to try to draw your text going off at this weird angle. So we just come back to that same deal. We twist the screen by a line or a polyline or text, we get that same thing, and now we have to make that 270. If I recall, we had to turn it around. So now you see how that's lined up. And so
Mhm.
instead of having to work at an angle, when you start putting text in, just keep it horizontal on the screen and that'll take care of it. But always keep your eye down here on the bottom on this icon for the UCS. That's the direction north is.
Right.
And now your coordinates
I have
haven't,
to redraw my north arrow.
uh, yeah, if you've, let's see where it, oh, it's over here. Yeah. All right. So, but the way you could do that is when you're here and it's rotated, and I see that with my, uh, yeah, my little icon here.
Yeah.
So I'm going to just draw a line just to help me out. So I'm going to draw a line. I'm going to go from here. And I'm going to go from here. And I'm going to go, um, just make it 100 feet long. And and now it wants to know oh, wait a minute, sorry. So I'm going to go from here of D for distance. I have to do that first. Yeah, there we go. So 100, it was looking for a point number. So I'm going to go 100 feet. And now it wants to know the direction. I'll go by an angle. And either, north to east or a 5 for an azimuth. Let's just try 5 for an azimuth of 0. All right, so that, and you can see how it parallels that. So I'm going to now type down here Q to quit and then just press escape to finish. So now I've got this, and sorry, now I've got that, and I want to remember I'm in model space. So if I change space for that, CH space, I'm going to choose this. Okay, set the target viewport active. Okay, and press enter. So now this is now, see, I'm back out in paper space. I'm no
Yeah.
longer in there. And so now this has been moved to paper space. And I'll just move it up here. And I'm going to use that. Ah, snap, sorry. Move, move from there up to there. And now I'm going to use that to rotate this. So I'm going to rotate both of these things here at the block. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move it.
Then the text, the other text at the
Oh,
west end.
sorry, yeah. I thought it was a two-line text. I got it. So I'm going to move all of this. First thing, I'm going to move from that point to that point right there. So I've got a rotation point that's going to line up. Now, I'm going to take those same three items and I'm going to rotate. And that is my little icon over here. And I'm going to rotate it. As for a rotation point, so here's the rotation point. Now, if I just move the mouse, it's going to go around. But what I want to do is type, you see there, it says specify the angle or use copy or base angle. So if I type B for the base angle,
Yeah.
I show it the base angle, which was here up to here. And now show it the new angle, which is here. Okay.
Okay.
Now I no longer need that. Throw that away. And I can take these guys and move them back into, wherever I may want to put it. Okay. And you can put it over there. So just, don't want it to get lost in the marginalia, but, wherever it needs to go, wherever it makes sense. All right. And I would recommend while we're doing that, and now that we know we're at 30, we come down here and change this too. So we're just going to edit that text to read 1 inch equals 30 because this is still 30. I mean, it's still an inch. So that's going to be 30 as long as we're centered. And then that would be 15. I'm going to come back to that in a minute. 0. This will be 30. And this will be 60. Now, right now it's an awkward division. We should probably have 10, 20, and 30. So if we get rid of that, and let's see, how did we do this?
I think we took it from another drawing.
Yeah, but I mean, this was, what is, this is a solid. Okay, so that's 15. So I'm going to change its size to go from here. I want it to be, we'll move it up to here a minute and change it to be 10. So if I have a little line, we'll draw from here. Hover over that and come straight down off of it. Fiddle. That's not apparently. Let's just draw a line. Vertically. And I'm going to move that from its midpoint to this midpoint. Then I'm going to offset 10 feet. Oh, except it's not 10, it's but 1 inch equals 30, so we want it to be 1/3 of an inch. Is that right? I don't want to do a decimal. Let me see. One. Let me draw another line here from this midpoint. I'm going to go out to there. Now I'm going to change that by extending. I'm going to say a total of 1 inch. Okay, so there now is my 1 inch line. Let's make sure that doesn't look. This is, yeah, see, this is weird. If I copy that from here to here, that's my full inch. But if I do it here, no, it was just an illusion. I guess because of the big bar. All right. So there's that one at 1 inch. So if I want to divide that into 3 pieces, I'm going to choose command called divide. We're going to select that entity right there. Number of segments or blocks. So I want 3 segments. Okay, so now what's happened is it's put down points. See up here in the properties? Those are CAD points. So I'm going to now copy these or copy that from there to node and to node. That's what a point is. Okay, so there now are my divisions. I'm going to now move this guy back from midpoint up to here. And then I'm going to change this. What I'm snapping, trying to make sure I've got extension on. Okay. All right, so now well, let's just take it back to perpendicular. I'll take this to the perpendicular. All right, so that's now exactly 10. So I'm going to get rid of this one. And I'm going to move this. Oh, okay, I guess I have to do that for the moment.
Isn't there a bar scale command that we could have used to have done that?
Yeah, I think I think part of the problem that I never used it much is I didn't like the way the bar scales looked, but we can do that.
I was just curious.
Yeah, no, it would probably be the better approach. So I'm going to take that polyline now and copy it from there to there and to there. All right, so there's now those 3. Yeah, this is not at all the way I would have approached this, but anyway, we'll get it done. We've got a nice nominal unit instead of 15 feet. So there we go. Boy, getting close to election day.
Yeah.
All the spam. All right, so now we've got that taken care of. We got our north arrow rotated taken care of. So now you're able to start laying this stuff out in the parking and get your road approach and all that. So I would do the design and the layout out here. So like you have access to the full road, like decide where you're going to come off and maybe turn around. And again, we may need to go back and adjust that concept plan to whatever we're doing. But whatever you do here, then when you come back here, it's going to show up and you'll see it in there. So,
Okay.
all right. And then now one thing I will point you toward is go back to my layer list and see if we have anything to do with, yeah, see, there's a parking lot layer. So if I select that, make that current as I'm starting to lay stuff out, and I realize there's more than just a parking lot. But when you're doing that under area layout, there's your layout, which is sort of uh, the key concept to that is, I think it's here. It might only be in civil. Let me see. Because I want to lay out utilities. There should be parking.
There was, because we used it on the last concept that we did, but and I never had engineering, so
Yeah.
module, so it's got to be
Mhm.
somewhere.
It's right here where you would expect it under a thing called parking utilities.
Uh,
That lets you do all kinds of these little layout tools and stuff there. And I'll be glad to help you with those, but I also don't want to, you know, burn your profit on your job. So you can run through those, or we can go through some examples so you can see what they are like. But then uh, so use those as we need. Don't sit down and try to just draw it with lines. And then but let's go back to this, and we're going to do a cover sheet next to get this in shape. So
okay,
go
good.
ahead. Oh, did you say something?
Well, the thing that would probably be the most helpful for me is if you help me lay out the parking area,
Hmm.
because I think that will take me forever by myself.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Then I'd be glad to. Um,
If we need to do that on a different day, uh, and don't have time today, that's fine.
oh, we got time. As long as you do. I've got, yeah. In fact, when I
The-
wrapped up my 5 minutes, it turned into 15 minutes. That was really the last of what I needed to focus on today. So,
Okay, well, the only possible conflict I have here is that our cleaning lady is here today, and I asked her to. Usually, she starts from the top floor, which is where my office is, and goes down. I asked her to start from the bottom and come up,
uh-huh.
and I hear her on the second floor. So eventually, she's going to be up here, and she's going to have to use the vacuum cleaner. We
Well,
may
that's
have
fine.
to take a break then.
Yeah, that's fine. We can put a bookmark in it, and come back to it. So, but anyway, and then we'll come finish this. I don't want to neglect getting that laid out, but let's wait till we're ready to submit, and we'll work on that cover sheet. All right.
Okay.
So we're going to come here, and we know we got everything. Now you've got notes to change and all that, but you've got the bulk of what you need is sitting here with your north is rotated to match and your scale is set up to match. So you're in good shape with that. Now let's go and lay things out. And if we need,
Well, let me come back to the cover sheet here for a minute and ask you a question.
go ahead, I'll let you drive.
Uh, on the cover sheet, I can really delete all of this stuff, can't I?
Yeah,
I mean, I'm going to need another sheet showing the overall, and maybe I should need to
right,
go ahead and create
right.
that now,
Yeah, so you
do a
can do,
copy
yeah, so copy
and
this one and call this one
call this overall.
overview or something, or, yeah, overall, so something, whatever makes sense for you when you look at it. There you go, something like that.
Then coming back to the cover sheet,
Yeah, you can get rid of
I can
the,
really delete all this stuff, right?
yep, you can get rid of the, just select the viewport itself and delete it. And now you can get rid of all of that stuff in the middle. Um, there you go.
Hmm.
It's, you gotta press delete now. You've got them selected.
I am pressing delete, nothing's happening.
Oh, I see. All right, because I saw them delete. All right, so let's see what's going on.
Let me try it this way. It's not deleting for some
Yeah, I
reason. Oh,
deleted. So,
I see what I did.
all
Let
right,
me try it again.
yep.
There.
What did you do?
Well, I don't know exactly what I did, but I've noticed before that when you delete several things in a row like that, all of
Uh-huh.
a sudden it stops deleting unless you do an escape
Huh.
and then start picking them again.
Well, no, that's strange.
Um,
All right, so
so now I can go to another cover sheet that I've done and do a
title,
copy everything in there, right?
absolutely. Just open it up and do a clipboard copy,
Right.
how to do that. Yep. Okay.
And
And
actually, I don't need the scale on here at all
oh, right.
on the cover sheet.
Go.
Okay, I can do the rest of that.
Okay. All right. So let's go back to the model tab and start doing some layout. Okay. Now,
Okay, one of the things we're gonna have to do is move this road. This road is no longer,
right.
it exists here. It's still there where it comes in, and
Okay.
from here on, it's been obliterated.
Okay. Well, let's take a look at it. If does it help to look at the image, the photo, the aerial?
No, because it's not gonna show up on the photo.
Oh, okay. I didn't know whether the photo was before or after the road change.
It's before.
Okay, so yeah, so just wherever it needs to, like, just pick a place wherever you want to chop it off, and well, I mean, just decide where it is that you want to break it
Well, from here,
from there onward.
and then I just want to move it over up close to this line and come around. But
Oh,
so at some point we're going to need to figure out where the parking's going to go to figure out where this needs to match. So I
yeah.
don't know the best way to do that.
Okay. So let's draw what our best guess is as to where this has been changed. Now we're sitting on parking lot. What, do you have this on a particular layer? That's on a layer called building?
We could create a layer called, there is a layer called road, I
Yeah.
think.
So if we go to that, if I go up here and look for road,
There isn't one.
nothing there called road,
So I
but
can make one.
road. Let's see. That's road. Oh, guess not. All right. So now you're using these layers. So we've got C layers, and C is a prefix that generally means for civil. And V, you see a couple of these.
Okay,
Is
well, this drawing originally I took from a Dewberry drawing.
okay, that's fine.
This is a job I inherited from them,
Yeah,
kind of inherited.
absolutely fine. I'm just saying, if you ever want to get into start using uh, some of these national CAD standard naming conventions,
Yeah.
these V dash tends to indicate V is for survey because the structural engineers got in line first and they took the S. So
Ah,
V for survey, C for civil, and we use those to indicate if it's a V type layer, we typically think of that as being an existing feature. Okay.
okay,
And a civil type feature is going to be something that's designed and laid out by the engineers. So that's going to be a proposed type feature. Now
okay,
there's no requirement to do that. In fact, if you wanted to call them EX and PR, that's fine too. None of that, but just by the new convention, that would be what it does. And we typically give like anything to do with roads, we'll have a V dash road and a V dash road dash anno for annotation, V dash road dash node for any points, V dash, all of those different kind of things. You do a category and then you do subcategories in the layer. So I'm going to create a new layer here called V dash road. Um, Actually, I'm going to just make one called V dash road. I'm going to make one called V dash road dash NO. And I'm going to make another one called V dash road dash node. That would be for any points. And then I would have one called V dash road dash uh, CL for center line, maybe. And then last V dash road dash edge. All right. And so now from that, I'm going to, let's just make our, well, we'll keep it green. That's fine.
this is on the, you want me to move this over to there so you can see it?
What?
Well,
Oh, yes, yes,
it-
yes. I pulled up the color.
it's on my screen.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so I set this color. Um, let's see, let's make it sort of this pinkish tan. We'll set them all to that for the moment. And now, so the annotation would be that points the center lines and then the edges. All right, so now let's set the line type and let's set the line weights as well. We're going to set the weights to be just default. And the center line, we want a line style. Instead of continuous, we're going to use center or center line or center 2 or center X2. Let's see if center will work for us. And then for the edge, now is it a dirt road, a gravel road?
Yeah, it's gonna be gravel,
Well, I don't mean the new one. I mean, what's there now?
dirt.
Okay, so we're going to use one of the dash line types to indicate that because it's not paved. And we'll just say this dash 2, which is half the size of a dash. Uh,
Let me change my answer. Where the road comes into the area that I've delineated as our parking area, it's
uh-huh.
dirt there, but where it comes on the other side, it is gravel.
Well, I don't mean dirt versus gravel. I mean paved versus unpaved.
Okay,
All right, so it's unpaved in both cases. So I'm going to use a dash line for the
and
edges.
will remain unpaved.
Yes. So my center lines will be centered. My edges will be dashed. Okay.
Well,
And
that's the other thing that's interesting is that he's going to gravel the whole thing. So I don't really know how he's going to designate parking spaces, but I guess that's not my problem. I just need to show him for the concept.
right, yeah, if he's gonna do it like a flea market kind of open parking kind of thing, he'll just park them in there and
Yeah,
you'll
that's exactly how he's going to do it. He just needs to be able to demonstrate that he's got enough parking.
exactly right. And so that's what he's doing the layout for is for that. And then when he parks, he's just gonna flag him in there with somebody, telling him where to pull the car up to.
I'm going to excuse myself for about 15 seconds here while I take a leak next
Yep.
door before the cleaning
Well,
lady comes
tell you
up.
what, take about, can you take as much as 5 minutes or is that
Sure.
too much?
Yes, that's fine.
Because I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna go put myself on another spot of tea.
Okay.
While we're doing that, I'm going to pause our recording if I can figure out where the heck that's done. Uh, for the remote. Um, that's my microphone. Oh, see. They change everything. I guess here I can do it here. So pause. All right. So I'm going to pause the recording and turn it back and go right ahead now. So, so what I'm going to have you do is we're going to switch to the center line of the road right now. So just double click on that layer name and close this box. And now I want you to draw just as best as you think it might be essentially the center of the road. Don't worry about trying to make curves. Just draw the tangent lines. We'll put curves in a minute and
Okay.
tie it into the existing. Uh, okay.
Oops.
Now, what you did when you said nearest, I think,
Oh, I know what I did wrong.
yeah,
Where's that
use
line?
current, yeah. So there you go. Now, do you know, is it a certain distance away from that structure or not?
I've been told that we can go right up against the structure. I'm skeptical of that and I don't want to do it.
Yeah, but
Uh,
aren't you you're drawing in the road as it is changed now, right?
yes,
Okay, so,
where we want it to go.
well, we may follow this, when we may follow it until it gets to the other side, but for now, let's put in, where this happens to be. And, take it around, is it around back? Don't worry about trying to turn your way around the corners. Like I said, we'll put the curves in later. Now, don't, yeah, again, remember you're drawing the road as it is now, not what we're
Well,
gonna,
there is no road there now.
what happens to the road now?
Well, the road as it is now
Just,
is
just not.
this does not exist at all from this point on.
Oh, okay, all right, so all right, so let's stop what we're doing here because what we were doing before, or what I did was I just set up the levels for the existing. So we need to change this and put this on the road edge, all right?
Okay.
And it is a line type of layer and a color of layer and a weight of layer. Okay, so now, so that's going to be, that,
Then
so
should I trim it back to this line?
yeah, we will in just a sec. What do we have here? Is this also that road?
Yes.
And you probably broke that to have something shown. That's fine. So all I'm gonna do now is to match this to this. All right, so that's now there. And then if it comes up here and peters out right there, then just
Yeah,
that very thing, just like you said, just trim it with that object. There you go. Okay. So now do they have right? I mean, it doesn't matter, but do they have like a little turnaround spot or anything like there? Like,
not right now. What they intend to do is to have a loop, have it coming in this way, one way to coming past this building and coming around and
and
coming
coming back.
back out.
Okay, perfect. All right, so now we're going to do the same thing that we did before under the V dash roads, except we're going to make some C dash road layers. So I'm going to come down here and take these V dash road layers. I think I can do it this way. If I copy those. Oh, crap. Sorry. I've been working in MicroStation for months now and I'm hitting the wrong keys. So V dash road layers, copy, and then paste. They should. Oh, they call them copy of. There we go. Or they should. Well, doesn't matter. Road, anno, centerline, edge, and node. All right. So let's just, I guess copy paste is not going to work right. So we're going to do a C dash road and a C dash road dash anno and a C dash road dash centerline. And we'll probably freeze that center line layer. We don't necessarily need to show it as a center line, but we'll decide when the time comes. And then node for points. Now I'm going to take all of these C roads and let's make them sort of a green sort of color. And our V roads is all default. So now we're going to have a little bit of width. I'm going to make that one a 0.2 and these others I'm going to make just default. All right, now for the line types, we're going to change them at first all to continuous. I don't know where it decides which one it's going to normally use, but so the center line will be that center, which I think we need to use a center 2 to make it not quite so spread apart. And the road, again, we're going to make dashed because it's not going to be paved. And that should do us. We're going to now sit on this active and now we're going to start. And what I mean by doing these by tangents, don't try to get every little twist and turn because, if we do this layout here, make sure we're no current drawing properties. If I start, say, I'm going to start in here and sort of go here. And now I'm going to snap parallel. I can find parallel. There's perpendicular.
Parallel snap is down there. There you go.
The parallel snap, I'm going to hover over this until I see the parallel word come up. And now when I get there, I'm parallel. And I'm gonna go along that alignment. Well, let's just sort of, we'll go to here. Now, can we come over to the lower right? Can we expand out of that area a little bit if we need, or do we need to
Yeah,
stay in? So if I come to here and then come across like this, is that, is that okay?
what do you mean come across like that?
If I'm going,
Oh,
can I go out
that,
here? Do I
no,
need
you
to?
can't come that far out of the line. That becomes a real steep bank there.
Okay, all
He
right. That,
he's a farmer who does a lot of other stuff. He's a real entrepreneur, but he has a track loader and a bulldozer and a loader, and he just does all that stuff
yeah,
himself
okay.
without any stakeout or anything.
Well, of course, back when you used to be able to build it, we've got an entire area in the city of Pittsburgh called the South Side. And it's been redeveloped, but it all used to be steel mills. And this was like, the old joke they called Pittsburgh, hell with the lid off. And
Right.
that was what you could see. It was just like it was on fire. And Andrew Carnegie, when he was building these steel mills back in the day, he would come in here and said, I want a steel mill there on the river because it's easy to transport stuff by ship. And he goes, well, you don't have enough land. Oh, no problem. Let's just fill it in. And he would fill in the Monongahela River or the Allegheny River or Ohio River, and just come in and dump barges full of dirt into the river and change the width of the river because it was in his way. All right. All right. So we're going to come say here and then maybe come up this way. I'll come to here next. And what is this line here? This,
Floodplain, 100-year floodplain. We don't want to cross that.
we can with a road, can't we? Or
Uh, I
you
don't
don't
know.
have, you don't have to. Let's see if what's that, what's the buffer? It's a setback from
25-foot setback. I don't
that's
think it applies to the road. It just applies
that's
to buildings.
for structures. All right, so let's just come to here. Then I'm going to come down along the backside. See, this way I'm going to be able to use as much of that property as I might be able to.
Well, and what's interesting, you talked about Andrew Carnegie. That floodplain is no longer valid because he's basically filled in that whole area.
Yeah, yeah, I got you.
It's no longer a floodplain.
I got you. All right, so I'm going to now come back to that original point. Now, we've got the center line, and I'm going to, let's maybe make one more from this corner down to say right in there. And I want to see, did I close that? I don't want it to be closed. No. All right, so if I want to join this and then this. All right, so that's now, let me see if I went the right directions. 1 to 2, 3. Yep. Okay. And then there's the last 11. All right. So we now have basically our loop, and we're going to put in some curves here now. So what have we got? If we've got, where's our measure tool? All right. Standard distance. All right, so if I'm going to be from say there to what is that? It's about a 70, all right, let's make a 75-foot curve. Um, I'm gonna take this away for, at least, let's see here. I wanna take this from here. I wanna make that one, if I do this, 50. There we go. I'm gonna leave that one disconnected for the moment. So I'm gonna put in a 75-foot curve here. And I'm just gonna do these with CAD tools. I'm gonna use this fillet tool.
Okay,
So I choose that, I type R for my radius of 75 feet. And I select this and that. All right, so that now you see I've got a nice arc.
yeah,
All right, so we're gonna put in some others, but I just wanted to see, that's a way to sort of get a gauge on the size of these features. But
sure.
we can do this pretty nicely as well, maintaining with the centerline editor. So if I go up to my centerline menu and let's choose polyline to centerline file. Now, are we in our 24006 styles? That's where we're supposed to be, right?
Yes.
Okay. So this is going to be called access road. That'll be what we'll call it. The polyline that represents it is here, and it goes in the right direction. That's fine. I hit enter, and we're done. Now, if I were to go to centerline and do a centerline editor, and it prompts me for that file, it loads up the editor, or I can just double click it. Okay, there it is. So let's start fitting in curves. So right in there, now I had a 75-foot curve here. I think if we did let's try a 50-foot and see what that does for us. May not have been enough. Let's make that 100 feet. That's a little better. Go down to our next line. And so now between that line and that line, we're going to put in a nice broad curve, and we'll make that one, let's say, a 200-foot radius. Now, I'm fully aware that he's not at all going to go out there and stake out a highway and, honor these curve radii. That's fine. He's just going to go out there and make a path. And I don't have any problem with that. But this way we can have it here and annotate it accordingly for the officials.
Right.
So now we're going to come around these curves pretty tight, and we need to fit in, let's see, let's try a 50. I don't know, it might be getting too, yeah, 50 is a bit much. Cut that down to 25. Whoops. That one. Let's see, by using this, we're keeping everything tangent, and we can, do and undo and all that kind of stuff. Now we're going to make another 25-foot curve. I wish it wouldn't keep jumping back like that, but it does. All right, so now we're going to come down to the next line. We're going to fit another, say, 200-foot curve. There we need one not quite so big, but we'll try maybe a 75-footer. It's a little too much, I think. The line moved under my mouse. Let's make that 50. Now, proper road design, of course, you're looking at travel speed and sight distance and all that crap. Notice we're not concerned.
Right.
All right, so now let's fit a curve. Let's put in, let's see if another 50 will work. Yeah, and finally here to there, we're going to fit a 100-foot curve in. Oops. And good to go. We'll save and exit. Okay, so now we've got that, but I'm going to want to connect that and tie it back into this opening tangent. Now, if I just grab this and move this, within reason, it will hold tangency, but I don't think that's going to necessarily. I'm not terribly concerned whether it does or not. I just want to grab onto that. All right, so there's, yeah, but see, I've crossed over. What happened? All right. Now I'm just going to check the tangency on there. So I'm here on this curve, and it is tangent to the previous on this line. It should be tangent to the if I say tangential to the previous, so
Oops.
that's all right. I'm gonna exit that and not save it. All right, so we just got a non-tangent curve right there, and that's okay, I think. Let me see.
Yeah, because I'm not going to have to dimension the center line. I'm just going to have to show
Mhm.
basically it. Well, I don't, that's an interesting question since it's all going to be a gravel area. I don't know that we even need to show a road, do we?
No,
We obviously need to show some drive lanes through the parking area.
I would just show it as it's coming in. You might dimension it to the corner of something to show how close it approaches, but I certainly wouldn't put much effort into trying to, we're not going to dimension the center line. So I think we're okay with that. Okay. Now, so that's we're going to start off here, come back around, come back, tie back in. All right. So now we need to offset some edges. So how wide do we need to make?
He wants to make it as wide as the existing road.
Okay. So that existing road is, whoops.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's look on let me pull up the concept of the other one that we did and see how wide we made the road on that one.
Okay.
Let me get that real quick. Let's see, I sent that to you in an email.
Oh, you mean just recently?
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, you sent me a PDF.
yeah, here's the concept plan. Yeah, here it is. Let me open it up here. Okay, and then let me it's not letting me move there.
Okay.
That's the old one that we did.
Yeah. So that looks like it's maybe a full 24-foot road. Um,
We don't actually dimension it anywhere, do we?
I don't see that we do now.
Okay.
Well, yeah, let's take a look here and see. Uh, First of all, I think you've got nearest turned on. You did that, I saw earlier. All right, so if we figure out, all right, what's that existing width? I don't think that's really quite gonna be big enough, but um, we'll see. All right, so see, that's only 6 feet wide.
Yeah, that won't work.
No, we won't at all. So we're gonna make our road, our travel lane, we're gonna make it one way, because if you remember that PDF shows like a two-way road.
No, it's gonna have to be two-way from,
Okay,
it can be one way from where, from here,
yeah,
but it's gonna have to be two-way from here out to,
not to the road, yeah, or
down
where.
to here.
Now, are we gonna design the road down to there to replace that with new two-way width?
That's an interesting question. I guess we'll have to.
Probably, yeah. So, okay. Well, we'll take that into consideration. Let's see if we,
Heather, let me know when you're ready to vacuum and we'll take a break.
Whenever you want to get off, I can go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, I think she's ready to vacuum. You want to take a
okay.
break?
Yeah, let's do that. And so here's what we'll do when we come back, Mike. Um, and we can take care of this incoming part and we'll tie it in and make sure it comes in tangent just fine. Um, at the end, but let's get this and then get the layout done. I also want to make sure is this line right here, is that right up against that slope at this
Yeah,
place, or is it only out in here?
no, it from there around to here, it's up against the slope. And then here it's not really, this turns from, this becomes a soybean field. And
Okay,
then right here it becomes a drop off. It falls down to the creek
okay.
back around here. So that this slope goes up.
I'm just concerned, like if we make that roadway, like this is the center of my road, and if it's one way, so I'm gonna need at least, let's say a 10-foot lane, 12 would be better. So if I offset that 6 feet, um, is that, you think, enough?
Yeah, that's, he can live with that. I
Okay,
mean, he's,
because that, I know that line is approximate, but I mean, if he needs to cut into that hill a little bit to,
he, it won't bother him a bit.
okay. Well, in fact, since we've gone ahead and done that, we'll show it there for now. We're gonna hit save. We're gonna put a pause in things here. Let me pause the recording. Let's take it away, Calgon. All right, so I've got, um, we've offset that one edge by 6 feet. We do the other one by 6 feet as well to the inside. Then that'll keep us about 5 feet off that structure there.
How about off the building corner?
Looks like it comes pretty close. Now we can straighten that up a little just by pulling this back. And therefore, these will go away. Let's see, let's offset this to this, this to this. I'll take these two guys and delete, but I want to keep one there till I match. All right, so that'll be that. Now let me, just because getting a little bit confused here. Let me change some colors. And that's going to be C road edge. Well, I guess that's a slightly different color.
Yeah, looks like it.
Yeah, it's just make that one a little smaller here. And instead of bright white, let's make it something more like that. Sorry, and I know it doesn't need my 83. Oh, well. All right, so that should give us that. We're trying to stay away from that drop off edge. We're up against the floodplain there. We're following around here. All right, so we're in good shape, I think. Let me also see P line gen is on. Okay, good. All right, so that gives us, are we gonna park behind as well?
Yes. Wherever we need to, I need to end up getting 125 to 150 parking spaces.
Okay,
So I can park on, the only place I really can't park is on the, I guess what's used to be the south side of the building. I'm not sure what direction it's now. Can't park down here.
right, okay. All right, so, and if we need to pull this out a little bit further, we've got some room there.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go to our layers and we're gonna do a C-PRKG, whoops. C. PRKG. C-PRKG. Edge. PRKG. Curb, in case we were needing one. I know probably not gonna curb it, but we'll. And then one last C-PRKG stripe. Okay. And we'll keep that one white. Curbs will make yellow, which will just be the, we'll probably want to use that. The edge will make green. And then this one will also make green. And let's go to this one. So we're going to now outline our edges, but we need to, let's see, let's draw. missed it somehow. Then final edge here would go from, say, here to here. Then let's go back this. Finally, like so, and we're going to do a maybe, let's see now. We just close. All right, so let's see if this gives us room to, it may not put much back here.
Well, let's see what we can get
Yeah.
in the main area there.
Right. Let me pull this.
Maybe we don't need much there.
Truly. All right, so our parking utilities, we've got a network, perimeter tools, then parking islands, handicap. All right, so parking network. We're going to give this a name, and here we go. Now what, we get some settings, and we're going to not do any grading here. All right, so this is going to work like series of roads. All right, so the parking lane width for two-way flow, it's 24 feet, so 12 should do us. Nine by 18. Number of stalls between islands, let's call it 20. I know we're not gonna have any, but we'll just see what it gives us. Okay. Let's see what their typical approach going to be here. Long alignment, parking island. All right, let's see. All right, parking network. Here's a 2-point parking alignment to a main road, edge of pavement. Main road EOP alignment. The default names EOP and parking. Okay. The main road is used to transition the parking curb and gutter. That's fine. Don't worry about that. I don't worry about that. I just want to get the layout. Oh, okay. Let's see. We may not need this outline after all. So if we where do I set my alignments? Yeah, pick main road EOP, pick parking center line. Do I have to give it a surface?
There it is, 2426 Stiles Farm Event Center.
Well, that's this one here, but I'm trying to go to an older one and find a surface, just any surface.
I don't think you're gonna find any surfaces in any of my drawings.
Well, if it's required, what was the last one that we did this on? Was it the 06 Styles?
Oh, no, that was way long ago. You want me to look here? It was in 2020, I think. There.
Okay. And let's look under. All right, so I don't see any. See, what I'm trying to do is I want these to become active, and I don't know why it's not letting me. Okay.
Maybe you have to pick an existing surface first.
That's what I was trying to do, but I don't know where there are any. If we go to your,
This is on the other screen. Let me move it over.
oh, okay. All right, so you keep your,
You're looking for the jobs.
yeah, where do you start keeping your jobs? Let's see.
Here, let me do it.
Yeah. All right. It's all right there. Just leave it there. Let me now look up here in the search for. There we go. So if we find, what's this one? This is on OneDrive, OneDrive, OneDrive. Do you keep everything on OneDrive?
Yeah.
All right, so SHEPP lands so 2023 or 23033 Bell. So if we have to do that, then if we find the existing, let's go to 2023-033 Bell. But see, I don't think it matters. We're not doing any grading, so I don't think it matters. Yep, exactly what it needed. That's what I was trying to do a minute ago. So now if I pick my existing road edge of pavement, which is right there, is we're going to call that one EOP. That's okay. And now if I pick the parking center line, I need to draw that, I guess, first. So if I draw from here, and I want to go basically parallel to that edge. And then let's just see what happens with this. Well, actually, I think it's supposed to be a 2 point. Let's see. We'll call it catch in there. Let's that. All right. Great. Save. Okay. Say okay. Okay. I know there's no profile, didn't want any. So it wasn't very good. That's what I want. All right. So that's not so good. Let's take this and move it from here to say, go to the middle of that curve. And then this, trying to catch the extension here. Yeah, well. And then let's put us a little curve in there. Say, too much. What? All right, now, see what we can come up with. Now, I just want to wrap. All right. We're going to need to give it some surface information. Do we have any idea about the average elevation out there?
Yeah, the points that I shot points all the way around the outside of this, and I have elevations on them, and
Oh, okay.
around this,
All right. So,
and it's pretty much flat. And I shot points at the building corners too, or in front of the building corners.
all right. So let's find those.
Let me go to this points list here.
Right.
Okay, PA for parking area and so points 144 through 163.
Okay. 144 to 163. So if we go to,
Let me close this.
yeah,
I keep forgetting when I open things on this other screen that you can't see it.
yeah, true. All right, so we're gonna call this Stiles existing grade. Whoops. Let me find that again. Select and let's put this in our proper folder here.
So it's in the 2400 jobs. You're trying to get it in the existing folder,
Yeah.
Stiles Farm Event Center.
And so we're gonna save that there. And now I'm not gonna draw it or any of that. We're just gonna create it. Inclusion, exclusion, we'll use that. Erase previous, that's fine. No contours. And on selection, we're just going to say Carlson points. Okay. So now it wants me to set the inclusion perimeter. No exclusion, select the points. And break lines. I just want the points. I don't want to have to draw them, but let me see. May have to. So if we go to,
I might have those layers turned off.
oh, you think they've already been in the drawing?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that they have.
All right, let's turn everything. There they are. Let's find out what layer it was. Points frozen. Okay, so we'll go back to where we were. And we're just going to thaw. Points frozen for the moment.
Now, I guess I didn't have the limits of the parking area. I guess I never brought those in. I just connected. I just drew polyline between them.
All right, so these points though are enough to, like, you don't really have data over here, and that's fine.
Yeah, no, I do.
Oh, is it on another layer?
No, I never brought those points in.
Oh, okay. So what were the, let me,
Well, it was 144 to 163.
okay. So let's go draw locate points. We'll keep them on that layer. That's fine. And let's choose one of these guys. say 0.05 for both of these. And to arrange, what was it, 144 to
163,
163?
yes.
Okay. There they are, and now they're turned smaller, which is fine. Oh, perfect. Okay. So actually we can now, this is this point's frozen. Let's make sure it doesn't have any elevation information. Nope, it's just a point. Yeah, that's outside of our boundary, so great. Okay, let's triangulate and contour again. Some points. Oh, crap. That's why Carlson points. Okay. Now inclusion is here. No exclusion. And now select the points and break lines. So I just need to grab all the points. And there it goes. Select the coordinate file to read. We didn't set the file. Is that our current file? Yes, Stiles. Okay, yeah. Highest point number. Was it again 144?
144, 3, 163.
163. Okay. And we actually even in case you're wondering.
Okay, so on the other page, you want me to pull it over?
Yes, sir. Okay, so you got a bit of a spot. It might be all right. The contours, let's see, let's look at 1 foot contours. So that point right there is really low down in the ground.
Where is that point?
Oh, I'll find out here in a bit. Let's see, let's go back to control. Zeros. Hey, it's out. Oh, not quite. So probably,
Those points are way outside of our limit, aren't they?
well, it's probably this point right in here. Bring that over.
Oh,
All right, so see, that is 466.8. That's 457.
well, I mean, 39 isn't one of the, it shouldn't be in this set.
So that's this one. Well, I
Yeah.
know we told, yeah, that's this one. But we told it to limit it to that. So I think if we take that out, if we go back to this, and we're going to remove point. There we go. And yes, save the changes to Stiles EG. Yes. All right, so we just got rid of that stray point. And now we can go back and freeze this layer again. Okay, back to existing surface then is, let's go to our folder. Is that our folder?
No, down to, there are a lot of styles folders. It's,
Right there.
yeah, there it is.
All right, so there's that, okay. We've got the EOP, we've got the center line. Let's process. Oh, crap. Profile. So that's fine. Oh. Who's got? See what this does. The parking lane, 12 feet. Offset from the main road. I'm gonna make that as low as 0. Ugh. Is there a dialogue or anything on the other screen trying to show?
No,
All right. Not letting me check that. Hmm. Well, I have to kill it and come back.
what's the matter? Is it locked up?
Yeah, it's sitting here just spinning the wheel,
Oh,
trying to See, I'm trying to click that box in the lower left here that says advanced on that dialog box. See if you can make it happen.
It looks like we may have crashed.
Okay. So,
Can we do a Control-Alt-Delete?
well, yeah, I should, I'm trying to do it from the taskbar, but it's not letting me do it from there too. So go ahead.
Carlson is not responding, so
Selected,
end task.
correct. Okay, so go back and load it back up, please, sir.
Oh boy, we lost everything, didn't we?
No, it's all there. It just, we lost some layer settings. So, we lost that other outside edge. Yeah, we lost the edit on this. So I'm gonna pull this a little closer. Remove the vertex there. And does it keep the link into the, yes, okay. Yeah, if I offset 6 feet, both sides. I'm going to put that on edge. I'm going to go ahead and pull this. Let me see if I can do it like this. It's the line there. If I go an extra. No, see, that makes it cross itself down here. So let's just forget that. Okay. Yoke now. Let me see if I now go to just go to this CPave PK lot. Not worry about any other layers in there just yet. Let me, if I draw here, to here, just the one. Oh, okay. Another one. Okay, and then the parking center line.
In this particular case, it would have been almost as fast to draw them by hand, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think what we're gonna do is I just want to get that entrance looking and we'll save this. I'm gonna get that entrance looking okay. Depth, width, offset from the main road. It's just 5.5. Say 10. 5. Right, so we use that as a way. So why does it not? All right, let's see. Parking lane width. See what that does. Yeah, see, it was too steep an angle coming off of there was the problem. So you see how it shows the curbing and all that?
Yeah.
I don't know why it doesn't keep it. All right. But that's all right, we don't need it. This gives me place to put it. I don't think we're gonna get 125 parking places, but if we, what's up here, Mike?
It drops off really steep
Okay,
from the edge of that road. I mean, that's really the only space that we have to use without him doing substantial grading.
gotcha. Okay. So I'm gonna now just take this away. Let's see.
So we're just gonna have to see how many parking spaces we can get and then let him make the choice about what he wants to do.
Exactly. So let's clear those away. Save that.
Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
If we just started putting parking spaces up along the perimeter here and came around and came around this side of the building,
Yep.
this side of the building, and this side of the parking, and then figured out how far off we would have to come to do another row of parking, wouldn't that be about as many as we can get?
I think that's actually the approach I'm going to be looking at here. So as doing next, because instead of trying to use that network to do the whole thing all at once, we've got these other tools for like these perimeters and parking along an alignment, that kind of stuff. So if we do parking along an alignment, let me get rid of this. Oh, sorry. Pick the start point. Say right here. Oh, I guess it's letting me draw it. Sorry. Try it again. Pick a start point. So if I start here and go up to here, what if I come all the way to here? There. Like polyline to align entrance or not. Oh, we did double bay, okay. So I need to get, see if I've got 12 feet here to here. Why is it? It's 21 feet. Maybe we need to change that to 6 feet because it's assuming two-way. All right. Maybe we should be using perimeter. There we go. Parking curb item. Don't need that. All right, so along an alignment. So if I pick from here. What does that give me distance wise? Yeah, it's a little too narrow, but let's see what we can do to fix it. The 6 gave us 10. 7 should give us 12. It's got 7.5. Well, let's see, let's try 8. So make me draw it again, okay. Okay, so. All right, it gives me enough width. So if I come in off of here and can park this way and that way and come around. Wonder if this will take stuff with it. I guess not.
let me ask you a question. How come there aren't any parking spaces?
Because we just said go along an alignment, and so it only looked at that alignment as it went around. So
No,
what
but
I'm,
I mean, on both, down here, it's on both sides of the alignment. Up here, it's only on one side.
well, it's tried to be, but it's coming back this way. See, that's where the other parking places would be.
Okay, yeah,
Running- It's running into conflicts with itself. So what I want to do is take these two, oh Lord, it's all by itself. In the parking area. Here's what I want to do is I want to take these items. Put them over here, and I'm just going to use them to borrow components from, okay?
okay.
And then we're going to draw in our stuff. So if I take, say, this entrance business right here. I've got to go from there to right there, let's say. And I'm going to break. Power line. All right, so now if I'm going to use this, I want to move it from, actually, is this just a polyline? Let's, all right. I'll leave these guys. All right, so this will be our entrance. So let's rotate that guy from right here. And now let's move it. Oh, actually, no, what I need to do is different. Let's move it from, say, there to there. Get a square corner, yeah. Let's go to there. rotate from there by base here to here. Match that, and now let's move it up to right in here-ish. So let's now move previous here. Down to there. And then, so we're going to come in, but this is going to go all the way up to here and around the corner. So if we offset this,
Okay, let me interject here. There's he may end up opening a brew pub here.
Yeah.
And he's got like a grain storage thing right here on the corner of the building. And I did not measure it because I didn't think it was going to be significant, but I just realized it will be.
okay, well, let's see if we
So it's
can,
maybe 10 by 10, I would guess.
okay. Again, not the photo, right?
No,
All right, so if we go 12 feet off of this, would that clear it enough, or do you think?
oh
we need-
yeah,
Okay. So that's 12 feet around. What layer is that?
so it doesn't need to be completely off, 12 feet off the entire building,
Yeah,
just off of that corner.
yeah, so parking here.
Should be off something of the building so people don't drive their cars into the building.
Yeah, that'd be problematic. All right, so now if we draw our line. Now we're gonna take this, our little buddy. And if we move that from there to there, rotate from there, based on there to there to there. So we probably would not be able to get two full bays out that way. You see?
Right, so you'd probably want them up against the property line rather than against the building,
Right, and then just not have any against the building, right?
right?
So in that case, you could do. Come on. So if we put that in here, now you see that would be the drive space able to bump in there. So that would put us up near that center line. If we kept it there, that gives us plenty of room off the building. But is that too much room?
I don't know, it's hard to say that. I
Right.
don't know if he's gonna, I don't think he's even gonna put concrete bollards there, but he might, I don't know.
Yeah, all right.
I
Let's,
guess I could send him a text and ask him that question, maybe.
let's pull this guy back and see what we've got distance wise. 9.9, that needs to be bigger, so 12. All right, so this is what's going on. Oh, 18, so maybe I'm not reading the right distance here. Ah, yeah, okay, so that's why every time I tried to measure the distance, I was only seeing the delta because that was crunched down too far. All right. So if we do this, if I take a line here, and if I offset that one, so let's do that. I've already got that line. That keeps me 12 feet. So going away from the building, I need 18 feet for my parking stall depth. And then 12 feet for my travel way. So I could be driving back here and pull into the spaces.
Do you think that's too far away from the building?
I'm just wondering if it might be, well, I mean, 12 feet's not that far. It's just barely over the height of a basketball goal. But
It's not too far, but if it makes a difference between getting parking on the other side or not, it might be too far.
yeah, so yeah, because I think the only thing we're gonna have room to do on the backside is just drive around the building. I don't think we have much parking room back there, maybe a space or two. Um, all right, so if we take those three items and move them from the midpoint of this to a point that's midway between the midpoint of this and the midpoint of that. Okay, now that's 6 feet off that building. And you could look at 6 feet as being right there. That one being 12, that being 6 feet. Now that's almost as long as a car. It's a little shorter than a car length. Is that, you say we've got that grain thing back there that we need to,
Yeah, that's probably good like that.
like this? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so if we're gonna come into our parking, we do need to be able to get around on through it. So we'll need this needs to exit and turn into this, and it's basically going to be doing, this will turn into this edge here. This will turn into this edge here. So at some point it's gonna, we'll put a little tail end for the parking. Let's see what we need it to be if we use a 5 foot. Tan, radius tan. Oops. And it's not gonna work exactly right. Again, TCR. So from this edge to this edge, let's make it at least an 8 foot. Let's try 10 foot. All right. So if that's 10 and this is 12, that means 22 out there. So circle TTR from here to here, 22. Selecting this and this. So that'll do that. We'll be able to park in here. So if we come off of this, so that's at 10 foot. If we use a 2 foot, so circle. We use this guy and this guy. Is 2 feet going to be too big? No. Now, I wonder if can we go from this? I think we can. Let's make it 5. Yes. Now, so from here back there, we got to come around like this. So that island needs to then come. Do an offset. Let's make that a 5 footer. let's see, all right, so actually I don't even do that. You know what I need to do, Mike, is change this. That's why it keeps confusing me. I need to realize it's not part of the structure, it's just, that's the line to measure against, right? Because
Right.
that's what I'm driving. So that gives me a bay back here. And if I were to take that, let's see, 18 feet, how far back do we have to go? Wow, we can get a double ranking, a double size over here. So that gives us 18 either side of the drive aisle. So let's take this out as far as we need to take it. Right. What is, go from here to here. Let's offset the edge by 10 feet. So we're going to offset that 18.
Now what's that offset?
I'll show you once I get the edges put in, you'll see better. So that's my try. So if I get one more in there. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Now, when I come out, I'll be able to wait a minute, let me see if I, yes. So I'm going to be driving in front of this dashed line. Oh, wait a minute, I've got it backwards here. I need to be on that side of it to drive, so fine. So I drive here and then I park. I need this one to also be that. Get me confused. Okay, let's redo this over here. So if I draw. Here to here. It's right up against the edge. Now, how far off of that edge do you think I should be to have my edge?
That's just dirt. You can be right up against it.
Okay,
No cliff, no nothing.
and this corner is okay back here too?
Yeah.
Okay. Like that. All right, so now to get my parking depth, I need 18 feet. So I'm gonna do 18 feet. And that's gonna tie to that. So. What's going on here? I've got, that is a line. Oh, let's see. There we go. All right, so what it does is every time I do a radius or a fillet rather, and it stitches it all together. So I need to turn, I want to keep these parts separately. I do want to remove the corners. Oh, well. This isn't gonna let me do that. All right. So now that's out to here, and to get my travel distance, I need 12. So this. Right at intersection, select line, mark the polyline. There we go. Good job. All right, so now there's 18, so I need 12 feet to drive in. 12 feet of width to drive within. Oops. So I'll take this out to here. And so these will be my spaces. This is my drive width. I need probably a 20-foot turning radius. Uh-oh. Go. And that means this would be 26. Which actually what I have to do this. Draw from the end perpendicular to there. And perpendicular to there. And then we'll put a little nose radius in there when the time comes. For now, park, and I come in here. I'll swing in here to drive around. But now at this one, I can get parking, another bay of parking.
Yeah.
So if I offset this one by 18 feet, I've already got this one. So now that and that can actually ah, all right, park, 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 park. But we'll get another double row in here to get, see if we can get 2 and 2. Let's see what it might require. Oops. Between 2 points. So from there to there.
Okay, I just got I sent my client's land planner a note saying I didn't think we were gonna get 125 spaces.
Uh-huh.
And he sent me a text back that said that I don't even have to show the actual spaces, just the area. They haven't made anyone show the actual spaces.
Well,
This is an agricultural exemption use. It's not like it's a shopping center or something.
yeah, no,
They're,
understood.
they're trying to give farmers the ability to do something other than farming to make some extra money.
Yep. Yeah, no, all understood. But I don't want to show them, 1,453 square feet and it would only hold 60 cars. We
Right, right.
gotta at least plan it. And if we're planning it by showing it, it's not gonna kill us to draw them in there. It makes it look neat, I think.
We're
But
almost gonna have to draw them in to figure it out anyway.
yep, I think so. So what do we have distance wise? That's what I'm trying to get here, from here to here. That is 44 feet. So if I go, what's 6 and 18? I got plenty of room there. I think that's 24. So, oh gosh, almost need 48. All right, if I go 6 feet off of this and so that's be how I come in. Now, if I need, oh wait, no, I'm doing this backwards. All right, what does that give me distance wise? How much room does that give me from here to here? I think it gives me 38 feet. I can certainly get up toward the building at 18. I need 18 and 12 and 18. I need 38 from here to there, or wherever else it has to go here. So what is that now? If that's not 38, let's see. If I had, I don't need two. I come in here. Here to here. All right, now if we offset that, 18 feet. I really only want to come in one spot. I don't need multiple entrances down here.
Right.
Coming up one spot. See if I have my cars all parked. See, I can get like two rows, two bays in here. Parking, parking, parking. As I come around here, see, I don't need to be able to come in here if it's clear enough. If I'm driving around and I get into here and I can start parking, if that means I come over here, or do I go into here and start filling out parking and then come this way and back? That might work. Mike,
Yeah,
let me propose something to you to consider. What's your time frame on this?
I don't have any definite time frame.
Okay. Let me save you a little money. Let's end our session unless there's a burning question you have right now. And let me work on this where I can pull my hair out and cuss and try different things and send it back to you, either like first thing in the morning or maybe later this afternoon,
That'll be fine.
probably in the morning. And let me give you an idea because I'm having a little bit of a difficulties visualizing stuff.
So what do you need for me to send you? Just the DWG and the CRD?
I don't even need the CRD, just the DWG. Let me save this. Okay. Yeah, if you can do that, that way, first of all, I won't take up your day. And this will give me a chance to learn these tools a little better myself, and there's no need for you to pay for my tuition. So let's do that. And like I said, I think we can come up with a nice little layout and a plan and not have to sweat this. And we're going for 125 if we can get it.
Right.
Okay. Yep. Alrighty. So I saved it. I think you did too. Then just email me that and I will. Let's go ahead and stop our recording. I'll send you the link to that when it processes. But I'll do this other, and then if I come up with any brilliant insights, I'll let you know.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. So, okay, I'll
Thanks, sir.
regardless of that, I will talk with you sometime tomorrow morning for sure.
Okay,
All right, sir. Have a
bye.
great one.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you too.
Yeah.